Hey guys, in a previous video I talked about how brittle this tail fin might be. It's a more stiff plastic and it does take a little bit of a beating, but if it bends at all, it tends to snap. I snapped off the bottom and I snapped off the top, and that's two different crashes, but they were not really anything major. So let's go over how you actually remove that. First thing you're going to want to do is you got to loosen up the 4 screws that hold on your tail boom. Next thing you need to do is remove the 2 small screws on this side and 2 small screws on the other side. And then at the same time, go ahead and disconnect or snip the little zip ties. Be careful not to cut any of your wires. You're going to have these 2 little zip ties left over. You want your swash plate guide taken out. Basically what's going to happen is you're going to disconnect your the motor from the pin down here. And then you're going to pull it. It's going to come up through this little gap right here. And then you'll be able to see the wires come through and they feed back out to where your tail boom assembly is. In order to make it go out of here, you will need to take your servo connector off. Now once you take your servo connector off, it's a matter of just taking this assembly and then just getting the wires off. A little hard to do one-handed, but we'll manage. And once you get out one-handed, let's see here. There we go. There. Once you get out one-handed, hopefully you use 2. So now that you remove the tail boom off, you just have your 3 loose wires. This just actually bends. You take off your 2 screws here that hold your motor on, and also just take off your bolt here for the hub. Sometimes the hubs are kind of tight when you undo this thing. Just hold it and hold the motor, kind of twist it back and forth a little bit, and it pops off. The only thing it's holding it on is really that grub screw. So now that you got this off, you can pop the motor out, and you see that there's no quick way of disconnecting it. This is about the quickest way you can actually repair this without having to split the frame. So you take this off, feed these wires back through your new tail fin, and then bolt the motor back onto the new tail fin. Take your tail boom and make sure it's got a little guide here that it wants to go in, and then it also happens to have a little besides having the guide, it also happens to be pinned. So it's got a little screw that goes into that locks in place. Put your wires back through. Hook your servo back up, or feed them back in, and then whenever you connect it all back up, remember,